What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. We're looking at Bitcoin here on the daily time frame. Sitting at $100,000 yet again. Beautiful to see day after day. Did we close yesterday above 100K? No, we did not. We've still yet to get that historic day to close above $100,000. Inching closer to it day by day, and I do think we're going to get there. If we look at the daily RSI, we are still at the bottom of this range, of this overall kind of, well, that wasn't what I was going for, bullish trend, right? We've got this channel going on. We are at the bottom of it. And I will say something that is a little concerning, right? We bounced here. It looked like we were going to go up here. We bounced here, and it looked like we were going to go up here. Now that we've had our third kind of attempt, it's just like it's a little bit different than this bounce was, than this bounce was, than this bounce was, than this bounce was, right? It's a little bit different. Sometimes I like to say different behavior could get different results, right? We could get different results. I do feel like this channel could be good enough to grow at least a little bit more. Oftentimes you don't see these channels get too far extended, right? Because you can only go to a 100 level in the RSI. You don't see them go too far to the extended zone. So sometimes whenever you get readings like this, instead of reaching for that next phase up, that next area to hit on the upper trend line, what you'll do is you'll form a lower high. You'll still come up, but you won't complete the move here. You won't go up to the other trend line, and then you come back down, and that's the signal that you will likely break this trend line on the next bit. Or you do different stuff like this, you're having a hard time getting up and finding support. So this could mean that Bitcoin's due for some kind of more of a serious correction, which would throw a couple of things off for my early December predictions, but I don't think it would throw anything off for the end of the month predictions, right? It would just postpone what I'm anticipating to happen this week and the coming week. It would just postpone it to the end of the month, probably, very likely. But what I'm getting at here with this RSI essentially is if this RSI breaks out to the downside, we will not be running to 120K anytime soon, right? And that 120, 130K, and that's what I've been basically shouting at the top of my lungs for the past like 4 or 5 days, is that we're going to go there by the end of this next week, right? Not this week. This week ends today, 19 hours, 54 minutes from now, but the end of next week is kind of when I was expecting that to happen. I've been saying that for this whole past week. So the fact that I've been saying that for about a week now and we haven't really moved anywhere, I mean, we did make a run for 104K, but then rejected down hard. It's not the most enthusiastic feeling for me to keep saying that we're going to see 123 to 130K by the midway point of this month, day by day, as we keep having reasons to move up, but we're just not doing it. It's making me think maybe we do pull back. Maybe we do gather our strength and consolidate, cool off the RSI as a whole, and then we can try again later, going into the end of the month. And it probably doesn't take this long to consolidate, right? Like this, I mean, here's the end of the year right now. Here's the end of the month. So it probably, if it were to consolidate, it would just go to the halfway point of the month, and then Christmas time comes around. We get that Santa Claus rally into the end of the year and into the beginning of the next year, and we start to move up. Well, maybe not the RSI like that, but the price action like that. So all that to say, we're watching to see what Bitcoin does up in this area very, very closely, right? It doesn't need to move down that much to break out of this trend here in the RSI. And in fact, with where we are, I would say technically, I mean, if we dropped, we're at 66 right now, drop down to like 58, we'd probably just have to drop down below 96K. If we got a day to close below 96K, that likely would, maybe not even that low, man, maybe only 97K. It's hard to do, rough math just quickly, but I think it would be about 97K to take us down there, right? I'm just guessing here. If not 96K. It wouldn't take much, and then we'd break out of this trend line. That would definitely reset things, right? We've been consolidating for a little bit already, right? Slowly moving up. We had a nice expansive phase in the beginning of November. We've been consolidating ever since then. A break like this would lead to something more significant in this consolidation, right? We'd be consolidating as a whole still, but instead of slowly moving up to the upside, we would probably have a more dramatic move down, something more dramatic than what we've seen throughout this whole range so far, if we were to break this lower trend line. So it's very crucial that we hold support here, that we continue to move up, and if we move down, it's just wicks, right? Like if we closed this day down here, we definitely would have broken this trend line in the RSI, but we wicked and came all the way back up and held support on that RSI still. So it's very important that any move down is very short-lived, like to the point that we don't even close the day down there, or just non-existent, right? If we can just continue to move, the area that I would like us to break above would be 105K. If we can get above 105K, we're likely going to see 120 to 130K in the time frame that I was that I have been talking about over the past week. It just depends. At this point, I feel like the daily RSI still looks fine, but I'm just a little bit less in the camp of belief that we will run all the way up, because if we look at it again, we take our top trend line here. That's not really the best drawn. Maybe something like this. Something like that, right? Top trend line there, okay. Bottom trend line here from this low connecting these lows. There we go, right? That one can come out a little bit, but it connects all these. It makes it a little closer. If we were to move up again, oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm sorry. Gotta get, isn't it that? Isn't it like that? Connect this to that. Connect that down there to that, something like that. It's kind of like that, right? If we were to move to the upside of this, that would call for a move. I mean, that's pretty high, right, in the RSI, like just based off the going trajectories that we've seen. I mean, even if we just moved up straight right here, that's still pretty high. That's like above the 90s, which can happen. And in fact, we've normally seen readings above the 90s in this kind of phase of Bitcoin cycle. Whenever we do move above that pre-halving high, when we're in this breakout phase here, breaking above the pre-halving high in any bull market, we do tend to top off in the RSI above the 90. And I say tend to, we have every single time we've gone above the 90 before we've topped off. This would be the only time in Bitcoin's history we haven't. But with just how well developed we are in this trend, as the days go on, this trend line keeps growing still. As the days go on and we're just spending time here, the upside target that we hit in the RSI, it gets closer to this 100 level. And as you get closer to that 100 level, it becomes less and less likely that we actually would go up here, more and more likely that we would probably form some kind of lower high instead of a higher high, and we might form some like double bearish divergence or triple bearish divergence, you know, something like that, a more sustained form of bearish divergence, which could provide a looming correction overall. But even a move like that, even a move like this where we would get a lower high, you know, something like this where we move up a little bit and we get a lower high, that would be enough, I think, for Bitcoin to close above $105,000. So if we close above $105,000, we're not out of the woods yet. We definitely want to keep pressing higher to avoid this bearish divergence. But it all depends, right? We close above $105,000 and our volume is not even above average. Okay, maybe we reverse. If we close above 105,000 and then the next day we're back at 100,000, okay, maybe, and we close below 100,000, maybe we reverse. Maybe we see a little bit of a correction, something that would take us back into that 90K area or lower. But time will tell. I suppose I'm just making a long, drawn-out video to say that we're at a critical point. It really does lie on this RSI, I think. If we break this trend line, we're not moving up anytime soon. And if we're moving up anytime soon, well, it would be soon. It would literally be within this next week or two. I mean, I wouldn't even think 2 weeks from now. I've been saying that for the last week. So really this next week, I would think we would see a nice move up. And we'd see something kind of like this, on par with this, in a very short amount of time. And it can take longer than a week. You know, we're on the 8th of December now. A week would put us on the 15th right now. It could take longer than a week if it wanted to. But as time goes on, as we're inching closer and closer to this lower trend line and just kind of hanging out down here, it's making me rethink some things. And I can't help but think that, you know, we should keep our wits about us, and that potentially Bitcoin could see some kind of more dramatic correction than we've been alluding to over the past, you know, couple weeks now, actually. We could see a move all the way back down below 90K. It's genuinely possible. Even all the way down to 80K is genuinely possible at this point in time. It's the most that I've considered that to be an actual reality this whole time up here. So hopefully we just move up today. Hopefully we get that going. But I feel like we've had all the reasons to move up and we haven't done it yet. So I mean, if we don't do it soon, we don't have to do it today. Today is Sunday. But if we don't do it sometime early next week, probably by Tuesday's close, I would think a correction is going to loom. So I guess I've set out some criteria here, and I'll just end the video with that. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Here's the criteria. So criteria 1, if we close above $105,000, but we don't get significant volume, it doesn't look like a breakout move, then we're probably going to see a significant pullback back down below 90K, right? Probably over the next 2 weeks. If we close above 105K, but then we close the following day below 100K again, we're probably going to get that same correction, right? Something like that. That'd be like a fake out. And then, of course, if we just keep moving sideways here, like if it's Tuesday and we're still here and we haven't done anything by the end of Tuesday, we haven't moved higher. If all we've done is move lower, then likely we could see prices not just below 90K, but potentially down all the way to 80K again. So those are kind of like the 3 criteria to watch out for, to avoid if you want to see us going up. Unfortunately, 2 of them do allow for us to go up a little bit, to see about a 5% move. What we want to see is we want to see that 5% move. We want to see a higher high, something at 105K or higher. The reason why I'm choosing 105K, in case anyone asks, are like, why are you just pulling this number out of your ass? High to low here. 105K is right at this 1886. On this chart it says 106. On other charts I swear it says 105. Maybe I'm getting 105 from a different fib, but I swear it was 105. It could just be this chart. Oh, because I put it at the low that wasn't proper. There we go. 105K, yeah, 105K there. We need to get continuation. Really, I think closing above 105K is a nice goal, but really we need to close above 110. And at that point, we're going to be so close to 120K, it's already obvious, right? But definitely enough to get excited over closing above 105K. But if we don't get continuation or we don't see some nice volume coming in with that higher high, I would definitely be concerned that we could be overdue for a dramatic move back to the downside, which is not something I've been expecting at all over the past 2 weeks. But as we keep ruining, or not ruining, but not what's the word I'm looking for? Executing these opportunities that we've been given to launch through 100K, it just makes me think more and more that we might need to reestablish ourselves at higher lows, lower prices from here, and then continue to move up. If Bitcoin moves down, you can bet that all the other altcoins in the market would likely pull back as well. If Bitcoin was to pull down from here, if we were to see a modest correction, on any fib scale, you take a low to a high, the 236 is the minimum correction here, right? That'd be like the minimum expectation. That's a modest correction by all definitions, okay? If Bitcoin was to see a modest correction from its current price, that'd be about 11%. Most coins in the crypto space would drop more than that, right? So that'd probably be like a 20% or more drop across the space just at a flat level. That means that there are a handful of coins, a large bit of coins, that probably drop even more than that, right? Some coins will probably go up while Bitcoin goes down. That happens every cycle too, so don't get surprised if that happens. It doesn't mean your coin is special. I mean, it could mean your coin is special, but sometimes it's just like the luck of the draw. Odds are, again, if we were to pull back, we probably don't pull back to this zone. That's a very modest retracement. Odds are we probably pull back to this zone. And if Bitcoin's pulling back a 20% correction from its current price, what would that do to altcoins? They're probably not going to pull back 20%. They're probably going to pull back 30%, 40%, more than that, right? And that can happen. That can happen across the board. We see this. A lot of people think that just because we've moved up a lot that we're absolved of going lower. But you guys, we've seen this in bull markets where top 20 coins, and this Bitcoin Cash was a top 20 coin, right, will drop 35% in the midst of a run up, right? Like we've seen this happen, right? And that's just Bitcoin Cash. That's one of the top 20 coins dropping a just casual 36% here. That's not even that extreme. You go to your favorite coins like maybe Solana here, go on crypto, go on a monthly, pull it up if we can. And I mean, you just basically moved up in a straight line, but it wasn't a straight line the whole time, right? You corrected here for a few months and pulled back a total of 79%. Here you stalled for essentially a quarter of a year, and in that time you pulled back 67%, right? In the midst of a phenomenal rally. People think that you only make money in these phenomenal rallies, and it's just up the whole time. A 50% pullback or a 20% pullback is blasphemous, but the thing is this is crypto, guys. A 50% pullback in the midst of a healthy bull cycle move is normal. It happens for altcoins, not for Bitcoin. But I'm just saying if Bitcoin drops 20%, altcoins stand a chance to drop 50% or at least 40% or 30%. So again, I'm not saying this is going to happen. This video is not me saying I'm predicting this is going to happen. If it happens, I'm not going to be that guy that's like, I told you at the top up here, I told you, because I'm not telling you. I'm just saying I'm concerned. I still have hopes and beliefs that we'll move up, but as the days go on, it's like, why haven't we? Where's the get up and go? Where's the volume? Why aren't we doing it? Why do we have a higher daily close with below average volume? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, and I was really hoping for continuation with yesterday's price, and that what they call right there, what they call yesterday's candle. Anybody know what this is? It's a little pop quiz here for you. You know what that candlestick right there is called? That's what they call a spinning top. That's what they call an indecision candle. Indecision candles are also these Darth Maul candles, right? We've had 2 out of the last 3 days have been indecision candles at the tops, at new all-time highs. That's not good. That's not good. So, and then of course the RSI is the main thing that has me kind of concerned. If we break this, we likely will consolidate for at least a couple weeks. If not, definitely going into the end of the year. So, all right, I'm repeating myself at this point. I got nothing else to say. Just stuff to be aware of, stuff to look out for. I hope I'm wrong in my concerns. I hope I'm right in the call that I've been making, which is saying that we're going to go to 120 to 130K by the 15th, by the 20th of this month. I hope that that's right, but as the days go on, man, I'm getting less and less confident in that. So hopefully we have a good day today. It doesn't need today, but definitely by Tuesday. We need to get somewhere. We need to get if we don't go anywhere by Tuesday, guys. I think it's inevitable. I think it's time to definitely rethink things and consider the downside a little bit more heavily. All right, take care. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I got nothing else to say. Thank you all for being here. Take care of yourselves. And I want to say, in case anybody's left, I hope nobody's left. I hope nobody's left. Everybody's probably left because I've already said bye. And it's the end of the video, so most people are probably not here. I should have started the video with this part, but I'm not saying sell. People hear things like 20% pullback, 30% pullback, 10% pullback even, right? Let alone 50% pullback on any given altcoins or 60, 70% pullbacks. And they think that means sell. But this is crypto. This is crypto. Those pullbacks don't take months to recoup from. They don't take weeks to recoup from. They take days, sometimes even hours to recoup from. It's not worth playing the game with coins like this, right? Especially when there's so much more growth left to go. None of the words that I've used in this video at all should give anybody the idea to sell. I can get where you can infer those ideas, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm more saying prepare yourselves for a pullback. Hold your horses if you're looking to buy some crypto. It just might not be the time, unfortunately, right now. It's not as certain. And then if it is the time and we move up, then just wait for a pullback after that anyways, man. It's so uncertain at this point. We had such strong certainty and momentum and hype going into November. We had all the times I was at the top of my voice, just literally telling people every single day to get into the markets. Now we're in a little bit less certain of a circumstance because the overall market is elevated. So it's not really worth it, I suppose, to get in just randomly to any coin, but it's not worth it to sell either. It's definitely not worth it to sell. Anytime that I've talked about the price going down at all, I'm not saying sell. In fact, if anybody thinks I'm saying sell, I wish I could just grab you by the face and say, stop it. Don't sell. Don't mess it up. Don't try to play the game, guys. Okay, this is why things like this happen. These are why these corrections, and maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but this is why stuff like this happens, right? It's to make people sell down here so that they can't sell up here, right? The big dogs create events like this, right? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe it's natural, whatever you want to call it, right? But events like this, I can promise you that the big dogs did not sell down here. They bought it up down here, right? The big dogs sold on that relative high, and then they bought down here. They double dipped, right? The small dogs, the dumb money, as they call it, they sell down here. They sell down here, and then they buy back at the top areas, right? And you can tell, right? Long time at the bottom to sell, right, for the dumb money. Long time at the bottoms to sell for the dumb money to get out so that it can push higher. And then look at this. Long time at the top for the big money to get out, to dump on all the exit liquidity, right? Long time at the top. So you can see it. It switches. It goes from phases. Long time at the bottom, they're buying. Long time here, consolidating, they're buying. Long time at the top, moving down a little bit and we're still at the long time, that might not be the best analysis, because honestly, right, like this is a long time at the top if we were to move down. It's a long time at the bottom because we moved up. It's all retrospective. That might have not been the best way to make this form of thinking, but I should just have ended the video like 3 minutes ago whenever it was more relevant to what I was trying to say. But anyways, I'm not saying sell. That's it. That's basically what I'm not saying. I'm not saying sell. I'm just saying caution. We could be moving down. All right, that's all I got, guys. Take care. Bye.